Hello, this is Cappuccio. I'd like to thank you for joining us for another PT on Net video interview. Today we're going to talk about the impact that social media is having on the fitness industry. Joining us in that conversation is international expert, speaker, author, Mr. Bryan O'Rourke. Bryan, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Bobby. Appreciate that introduction.
So, Bryan, it seems like every week social media is going through a new phase of evolution. Could you tell us a bit about where it's come from, where we're at now, and why that's relevant for any fitness professional that might be watching this video?
Well, social media, first off, Bobby, I kind of hate the term because it really misrepresents a lot about what it's becoming. But neither here nor there. I mean, what it was originally was a way for people to kind of essentially connect. But it's evolving beyond that, and now it's starting to infiltrate and have implications on business models, organizations, creating all kind of outcomes that aren't completely something you can anticipate. Really, most experts think that beyond 3 years, it's really uncertain what the outcome of this is, because there's so many variables. Technology, changes in consumers, shifting demographics, and all these things are coming together, and they're really just revolutionizing the way organizations function, the way customers interact, the way businesses can operate effectively. And it's great, it's very exciting, because it's going to make people with the best ideas more successful. The barrier to entry is going down, 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 so that's great. But at the other side of the coin, there's a lot of established competitors in the fitness industry that they haven't figured out how to grapple with this, right?
What are two things that no matter what position you're in the fitness industry, no matter whether you work for somebody else or work for yourself, intrapreneur versus entrepreneur, that we can do to maximize the time and energy that we invest in social media?
Wow, to put two things down is tough. I'll pick a couple off the top of my head. The first off, one of the things I think is critical is your personal brand. Everybody's got to have their personal brand. It's got to be authentic. You need to be, caring and from the heart about what you're doing. The passion's going to show through. You need to act with a servant's heart, and your brand needs to show that you're reaching out and touching people, and that you're true to your cause. And that your brand is about that, or reflects it. The second thing you really ought to do in line with that is focus on building your network, and do it in some really unique ways. Don't spam a bunch of people.
Absolutely. What
you need to do is find the people that you're trying to help and help them. And use the network to do that effectively, and then your network from there will build.
Now, give us an example. Like, let's say I'm a trainer and I have an event coming up, and I want to attract a group of people and use something like Facebook or Twitter. How do I do that exactly?
Well, with Twitter, I'll give you an example. So we're at an industry event right now. In the last few weeks, every night I would sit down and do a query for all mentions of IHRSA, okay? And I would find people discussing IHRSA, okay? In fact, I had a young woman who was talking with a friend and said she couldn't make it this year because she couldn't afford to attend the exhibition. You know what I did? I reached out to her and said, you know what? I'm going to pay for you to go that day. And I did that for her. I engaged a lot of people just trying to help them and becoming part of the conversation around the event. And what happened is my network grew. These people checked out who I was, and then they linked in with me. And then they started talking with me. That's one thing that you should do. Expand your network and give.
So, if I understand you correctly, you can use a vehicle like Twitter, and you can do a general search for people who are interested in a specific speed, like IHRSA or fitness in New York City or London, for example. Then you could find specific people who have an inquiry or a statement that gives you an opportunity to contribute something of value. And then you can interface with those people directly and then include them as part of your network.
That's correct.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it works. And Gary Vaynerchuk, the author, he talks a lot about this and how he built his wine library. And that's how he did it. One customer at a time, helping them, not spamming them, helping. And if people want that, they want to trust, they want to see you have a servant's heart. They want the help, okay? But they don't want to be a spam. They want to connect.
Yeah, because we get exposed to thousands of sensory bits of information a day. And I think the harder you go after somebody, the more propensity you have to be ignored. But when you help somebody respond to a specific request and they weren't even expecting it,
that's correct.
That gets people's attention. That's true value, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the right thing too. I mean, your motivations are pure. People sense that. People have a great BS meter inside them, and they can tell when you're trying to just get something from them versus doing something to help them.
Bryan, where can we connect with you? How do we become part of Bryan O'Rourke's network?
Well, you know, I've got a website, BryanO'Rourke.com, BryanK-O-Rourke.com. You can Google me. It's Bryan with a Y. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You can comment on my blog. I share a lot of content on SlideShare as well. So just reach out to me any way you can. I love interacting with people within this industry.
Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Bobby.